Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Yesterday, August 6th, 2016, it's reported that Dr. Sebi, the world famous natural healer, died under suspicious circumstances. The story is that he was arrested in a Honduras airport for carrying 37,000 cash on him and being suspected of money laundering, and then shortly after being arrested, died while in custody. A lot of people are speculating that his death is a murder. I'm going to show in this video why he died August 6th. There's a very specific reason. He is either a ritual sacrifice or another person who has faked their death by the numbers. The reason some of these people would fake their deaths is to escape the spotlight of being the celebrities that they are. Dr. Sebi, a famous name worldwide, especially within black communities. If you're new to my channel, I talk about the language of numerology and gematria. Gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words. It's very important to the Zionists who control the media worldwide and so much more. The celebrities that we know through the media, they are all owned by this gang. And because Dr. Sebi is someone who people know through the mainstream media, he is one of these people who is also owned. And we'll talk more about Dr. Sebi's message. I think it was mostly on point. But what I want to show first is why he died August 6th, 2016. In Gematria, the name Dr. Sebi sums to 57. So does his birth name, Alfredo Bowman. Dr. Sebi, Alfredo Bowman both sum to 57, just like Scottish Rite, as in Scottish Rite Freemasonry, the branch of Freemasonry that dominates the world as we know it. You hear about the New World Order, the Illuminati. What that is the gang of Freemasons and Zionists who run banking, media, governments, and so much more. Control the world of education, medicine. From the day of his death until what would have been his upcoming birthday is 113 days, which is a very special number to Scottish Rite Freemasonry. Scottish in simple English gematria sums to 113. Here, this man with the 57 coding dies 113 days before his birthday. This is no coincidence. These are trademarks of the wrongdoers, the Masons who murder by the numbers. Let me show you what else is interesting about his name, Sebi. Dr. Sebi in Pythagorean gematria sums to 39, like the number of books in the Old Testament that the Zionists go by. The name Sebi in simple English gematria sums to 35. His date of birth, November 26th, supposedly in the year 33. November 26th is the day that leaves 35 days left in the year. So this man's Dr. Sebi, who wasn't born with that name, born on the day that leaves 35 days left in the year. We're going to talk about Kevin Durant at the end of this video. That part will be speculation, but there's a possible tie-in here. We'll get to that. Kevin Durant, who wears number 35. The media constantly refers to him as a herbal healer. They could call him natural medicine man. This phrase, herbal healer, has gematria 59, and that's a number often stamped on black people. He's originally from Africa, Negro 59, Slave 59, Blues 59. They say AIDS was discovered in Africa in the year 1959 in the Belgian Congo. Belgian Congo in gematria sums to 59. This is also a number that has a lot to do with death. Later today, I'm going to be putting out several videos. The death of Eazy-E, a review of the NWA movie, the death of Dr. Dre's son, some other work. I'm going to show how many black men in recent history that you're aware of have been sacrificed by these same numbers. 59, a fatal number, a number coded on black people who have a real agenda against them to destroy them as a race, to kill them as a people. And many black people are aware of that. Here's the thing about Dr. Sebi's birthday being born November 26, 1933. That's the date of the original Thanksgiving. Something interesting to think about. A holiday in this nation where we gorge ourselves with food. Dr. Sebi's work was mostly about how you need to eat right. By eating wrong, you kill yourself. You open up your body to contracting these diseases that we so often suffer from. His date of birth, what stood out to me about his birth numerology is the 26, where he was born has a gematria of 26. Sebi, the small way, equals 26. Mason, the small way, equals 26. Short for Freemasonry. We'll talk about the product he sold and the Freemasonry stamp on that. Also a date with 37 numerology. They're saying he had $37,000 on him. His birth name, Alfredo Bowman, that gematria of 57 like Dr. Sebi. Also 129 like America in Jewish gematria. Notice that Bowman sums to 68. He died August 6th, the date that's written 6/8 in most parts of the world. Death by the numbers. Again, 113 days before his birthday. The words mainstream and dishonest have gematria of 113. Very special number to the Zionists. Bava Kama 113a says it's okay for a Jewish person to lie to somebody who isn't Jewish. The date he died, he was born in Africa. He has a major following in America. The date he died was a date with 50 numerology. America equals 50, 50 states. We talked about how his birth name also has the America connection through Jewish gematria. He was a symbolic figure. He died on August 6th. In the U.S., we write that date 8/6. Symbol equals 86. Triangle 86. Pyramid equals 86. I was watching his interview with Rock Newman, and in that interview, he says that he has cured 13 people of AIDS with his treatment. And you know, it's interesting that he claims 13. 13, that's the number of layers on the pyramid and the dollar. Very special number to the Illuminati. The Bavarian Illuminati, again, is Freemasonry, Zionism, the banker tyrants in high places. This image viral on social media today and last night, the day of his death. The man who can cure HIV, AIDS, diabetes, cancer, stroke, STDs, arthritis, sickle cell, and many more. And, you know, a lot of people say this guy's a kook and his claims are bogus and he's not a real doctor. But the thing is, Western medicine, what we get here in the society we grow up in, is mostly all bullshit. The truth is, what we eat determines our health. When we eat right, we don't contract disease and illness. We live longer, we look healthier, we have more energy. Western medicine completely ignores, you know, food and nutrition. Because Western medicine is about a controlled system. Getting people purposefully sick and then having cures, you know, things to offer that generate profit and revenue. It's about creating treatable illness for money. That's what Western medicine is truly about. When I was a teenager, I read about veganism and I became a vegan. And my sister, who's more than 12 years older than me, she's married to a man who's another 10 years older than her, so he's about 22 years older than me. When I met him, I was 15 years old. He was 37. And he would make fun of me once I became a vegan. He was an actual doctor. He's still a practicing doctor, a physician. He would make fun of my vegan diet, say what a feminine diet it was, a little girly diet. It was all bogus propaganda, this vegan diet and veganism. Well, about 15 years later, he had too many health problems, he'd had too many surgeries, and he began to research on his own, and now for going on 3 years, my brother-in-law, the doctor, has been a vegan himself, you know? Still practicing medicine, still having to do it the way he's taught with those old belief systems, but now he's eating the way I once ate as a younger teenager. So there is a lot of truth in what this man was preaching. It's about eating right. It's about veganism. You do these things, it does cure a lot of these illnesses and more. And you'll never get them in the first place. There's a lot of research done on this by our own government in the last century. And they hide all that data and research because they don't want the people to know the truth. They want them to get sick, continue to make money off them, have control over them. So anyway, Dr. Sebi, he was also selling this supplement. He called it Dr. Sebi's Cell Food. And there's a lot of people online, you know, that have put up these testimonials saying how great the products are. But remember, the power of the mind is another important thing. Placebo drugs help people heal. Placebo drugs are a placebo, if you're not aware, is when they do a drug test. They give a sample that supposedly has the real medicine in it to a group of people, and they give another sample of a fake medicine that has nothing in it. It's essentially a water pill. And they test to see how many people get healthy from the medicine in the group that takes the real medicine, you know what I'm saying? And they test to see how many people get better who are taking the placebo. And sometimes it's just as many people get healthy with the placebo as with the supposed real medicine. And that's because in the mind, when people are taking a medicine that they think is going to heal them, they get better because they're expecting to get better. And it shows that the placebo is just as effective as the real medicine. So, what I'm trying to say is, I'm not sure Dr. Sebi's food, his supplements that he's putting out, were really any benefit to people. He might have been preaching a real message, about the right ways to eat, the foods to avoid, but at the same time participating in selling people a faulty product for the sake of profit. That's what shilling is. That's what half-truthing is. There's so much of that in this world. That's how the Zionists rule this world mostly, with lies and half-truths. And Dr. Sebi, I'm quite certain, worked for this gang, which is why he was killed by the numbers. So, Dr. Sebi's cell food equals 67, blood sacrifice equals 67, Freemasonry 67. He was supposedly arrested at the Roton Airport, 67. The big way, it equals 166, just like secret society. The small way, Freemasonry and secret society also have the same gematria. I was watching more of his interview with Rock Newman, and in the beginning he talks about how he's 6'2" and only 120 pounds, and he emphasizes his height 2 times and his weight 2 times to make sure everybody hears it. But he talks about how it's not a big deal, he's not underweight, his body's right where it needs to be, he's full of energy, and in a way I can relate. I'm not 6'2", I'm 5'10". When I first became a vegan, I lost a lot of weight. I didn't even recognize how much weight I lost at first. Your body sheds weight fast when all you eat are fruits, vegetables, drink water. For those of you who are trying to lose weight and go into all these diets, all you need to do is eat fruits, vegetables, and drink water. The weight will melt off your body. Anyway, I got really skinny, so I see how you could be 6'2", 120 on a vegan diet. But the thing about him emphasizing his height and his weight at this is it reminds me of these things. Mason, the big way, sums to 62. The small way, 26, like we talked about with his birth. And Illuminati equals 120. And again, the Illuminati network is this network of Masons and Zionists, which this man might very well have been in. He also, in that interview, emphasizes how it was 1964 where the knowledge came to him about eating right. He talks about how until he was about 30, he wasn't healthy, he was impotent, he couldn't have kids, he couldn't get hard. He had all these health problems. And then he corrected his diet, and now he's making babies in his 80s, in his own words. But anyway, him emphasizing 64 is very suspicious to me because these are more hallmarks of the gang. Zion 64, Israel 64, Thelema 64. All of this is tied to Zionism. As he goes on his hour-long interview with Rock Newman, he talks about drinking 78% water and eating 22% solids. And just as he says these things, I'm going, really? I mean, is it really this specific? Or is this the Freemasonry shit where they do everything by the numbers, report everything by the numbers? Because the thing is food equals 22. It's the master builder number 22. It's about foundation. He's saying make the foundation of your diet 22% solids, 78% water. You can watch that interview. I'll link this post. Just come to this post, click this link. You can listen to everything I'm talking about right now. So anyhow, him dying yesterday, with the connections that he had, it's possible that he was a ritual sacrifice to something greater to come. It's also possible that his death was even connected to the U.S.A. basketball game over China last night. And honestly, I cannot tell you where the parallel exactly is with Dr. Sebi and U.S.A. basketball. The only reason I'm saying this is because of the numbers attached to Dr. Sebi, and what happened last night in the basketball game. This could be a complete coincidence, but within what I show you about Kevin Durant, it will just be also a parallel and another understanding of the significance of these numbers. So the U.S. team defeated China last night by 57 points, 119 to 62. When you write out 57, it sums to the same thing as championship, the same thing as Super Bowl. World Series also equals 57. This number has a lot to do with sports championships. Dr. Sebi equals 57. Alfredo Bowman equals 57, as we covered. The leading scorer last night for USA was Kevin Durant, who wears the number 35 in the NBA to remember his coach that died at age 35 just before he signed with University of Texas out of high school. That final score of 119 to 62, all-seeing eye equals 119, Star of David equals 119, Mason equals 62, Torah 62. These numbers are important to Freemasonry, Zionism, the symbolism that we are so used to in this society. Think about the all-seeing eye on the dollar bill. Yesterday was August 6th. Remember, symbol equals 86, pyramid 86, triangle 86, all-seeing eye 119. The U.S. team scores 119 points on August 6th. So the other thing interesting about Sebi is that his last name in Jewish gematria sums to 106, the number of prophecy. With regards to the Olympics, he died again the day that the U.S. team won by 57 points. The U.S. Olympic team, they sent 106 returning medalists to this year's Olympics. If you didn't see my preview video on Rio, there's a lot of prophecy coding it. The Freemasons, the Zionists who run the show, they work from the book of prophecy, Revelation, the final book of the Bible. Very important to this gang. The Bavarian Illuminati started in history on the 121st day of the year. Revelation equals 121. That's the final book of the Bible, the book of prophecy. Let's now transition and look at Kevin Durant, who led the scorers last night for the U.S. team over China. Again, China equals 35, Sebi 35. I can't tell you why he would be the sacrifice for the U.S. men's basketball team, being a native out of Africa, unless it has to do with him coming to fame in the U.S., selling the majority of his products here. Anyhow, Kevin Durant supposedly wears 35 because of the death of his high school basketball coach who died just before he signed with Texas. As I've said many times, these professional athletes have ritual sacrifice around them when they're superstars, when they're destined for high places. His coach's name was Chucky, which in gematria sums to 26 and 35, just like his age of death. He was also known as Big Chucky. Big Chucky has gematria 44, the kill number, 53, the reflection of 35. Chucky's birth name was Charles Craig, CC33, 33, the number of Freemason obsession. Charles Craig in gematria sums to 59, the number stamped all over black people in a negative way, and Charles Craig would die on a date with 59 numerology like so many other young black men in this world. Notice Charles Craig in gematria also sums to 68. Again, Bowman equals 68, dying on August 6th or 6/8. This is another number that shows up around death a lot. Hiroshima happened on this date in history. Think about that. August 6th, 1945, a date with 33 numerology. Caskets go 6 feet deep and are often 8 feet long. Possibly part of the reason 68 is a number of death. Martin Luther King Jr. assassinated in 68, Bobby Kennedy, both by the numbers. The last name Craig also has the same gematria as death. Craig equals 38, death 38. The date he died, here it is, numerology of 59, just like his name, Charles Craig. Date with 14 numerology, the word dead equals 14. Date with 39 numerology, the Zionists go by the 39 books in the Old Testament, a book of laws. So this is what it is. And, Dr. Sebi, I think his message was mostly good. I'm not sure about his products. I'm fairly certain he was linked up with this Freemason gang, and that is why he died the date he died in relation to his upcoming birthday. So sorry if this information upsets you. You know, anytime you turn on the TV, the mainstream media, this is what you need to be aware of. To get to be in that place, you essentially have to sign your life away to the gang that runs the show, the gang that murders by numbers, the gang that even has musicians that they own, such as the Police, record songs and release them, called Murder by Numbers. Take a listen to that song if you've never heard it before. Clue you in a little bit more to what I'm talking about. Until next time, true seekers.